My name is Al Dayhoff, and I'm the Executive Director of Evangelize Today Ministries. Today, I want to give you a preview of our evangelism workshop. This workshop is known as The Naked Truth About Evangelism. Let me give you some background to the Evangelize Today ministry. There are three large components to our ministry. The first one is the workshop. We show research findings. We find if we move into methodology before we have a background, we get all caught up in the traffic of methodology and technique. And so the workshop is not about how to do evangelism, but how to think about it. And we show 5 areas of research findings. The second component is something we call the Evangelism Conference. It's often a Friday night and Saturday. It's 8 interactive projects. Everybody makes a evangelism encounter and writes a handwritten letter to somebody. It's actually how we do evangelism, or suggest we do. The third area of evangelism, Evangelize Today Ministries, is something I call a residency. It's at distance. It's with interns, staff members, or pastors. It's a much deeper dive. We do up to 50 evangelism case studies in a year and 10 interactive projects. And I take on 15 to 20 men a year that I coach and partner with. So in addition to those 3 components, there are 4 values that I work in with Evangelize Today. The first value is shifting from listening to reply to listening to hear. I found that the style of evangelism I was taught is always have an answer and a truthing, telling, presenting metric. We now find that people want to be heard, and maybe we don't have that muscle. And so the first value is shifting from listening to reply to listening to hear. The second value is I believe we have re-entered the age of the parish. 85% of the population is not coming back in our church structure. And our churches right now are just recollecting Christians from other churches. And we just shift from one to the other. By the way, we found in our research, the more non-Christians the pastor knows, the better his mental health. He's more connected. The third value is a research, introspection, discovery method of sharing the gospel. We find that in this age of fake news, people do not embrace what they're told. They embrace what they discover and need a pathway for that. The fourth value is of our values is love. When St. Patrick went to Southern Ireland, he walked in the brogue and he said, "I am yours and you are mine. Let's figure this out." We find that we're back in this place where these 4 values, I think, are beginning to work. So before I go into the 5 areas of the workshop, let me tell you a little bit about me. Al, how'd you get here? So we planted a church in the DC region about 26 years ago. And about 6 years ago, we built a big building. You know, if you build it, they will come. We opened the doors of the church and it filled up. And what we did is we recollected Christians from all the struggling churches around us. And I just said, I'm done. I had been walking on Christian carpet doing Christian handshakes, drinking Christian coffee, and had gotten farther and farther away from this 85%. I didn't know what to do. So halfway between my house and our church was a blues bar. And it was Sunday night, and I began to attend there. And blues music was new to me, but blues music is all about my baby left me, my health left me, my finances, my family, my friends, and my call had left me. I just felt out of sorts. And I began to come into this space. It was a dark, horrible little bar full of people. And about 4 months into me doing this every Sunday night, I walked in and there was a group of people waiting for me. And they said, "What do you do?" I thought they were going to throw me out of the bar. And I always tell the truth. I said, "I don't do anything." And they said, "Where do you work?" And I said, "Nowhere." And the waitress flitted by and said, "I think he's a priest." And they all laughed. And that began to be my journey. They didn't talk to me for about a month. We had a party in my home that about 50 of them came, and the parish began. And right now, have between 300 to 500 people that call me Pastor Al in my blues bar. It is one of the sweetest journeys I've ever been on. I am theirs and they are mine. We have a service every Sunday in the bar. And it is the richest laboratory I've ever been in. So I wrote a book called Church in a Blues Bar. It rewinds the story. It talks about where I think we are in the culture and where we can get to. So I'd like to say something. When the bar became my parish, my optics changed. I just saw things that I didn't see before. And for the first time, I saw a tattoo. You say, "Al, you know about tattoos." But I didn't care that I didn't care. I don't have any. I wasn't going to get any. But now this was my parish. It's a very white-collar bar, by the way. And I said to a lady, "Does your tattoo have a story?" And she poured out all the secrets of her soul. And I said, "How did I miss this? How did I get to be 55 years old and not understand this?" So I went and did 1,000 tattoo interviews and found out, I suspect the image of God has gotten so desperate to talk, it's writing on its wrapper in permanent ink. You want to learn what the secrets of the soul are? Learn to read tattoos. I think we have about 200 to 500 ministers now interviewing people with their tattoos. Be careful. If you start asking people, "Does your tattoo have a story?" you might not be able to stop. The third area that we researched is, why can't we shift from listening to reply to listening to hear? And the residents began to be my study group, and we did other case study groups. And what we found was this: people were so full of noise with a particular wound that they couldn't hear what other people were saying. So wrote a book, did 10 case studies called "The Genius in Your Wound. Have You Discovered Yours?" So this is a little bit of a background about me. Al, what are the 5 areas of research that you're going to show us in the virtual interactive videos, workshops? The first one is, why is the wall of the bubble thickening? In other words, if 85% of the population is not coming back into the structure, why? And we found one habit above all the others that created a problem of why people are not breaking out of this bubble. The non-Christian world is not getting in. We are not getting out. Why is that? And we talk about the wall of the bubble. The second workshop is findings from 5,000 tattoo interviews. Tattoos really aren't about tattoos. As I said, the inside's gotten so desperate to talk, it's writing on its wrapper. And I show you our data. that we found from all over the country. I think this has great relevance to evangelism. The third area is findings from 8,000 evangelism encounters. And I say this, I neither agree nor disagree with what I'm going to show you. It's what we found. The fourth area has to do with why can't we shift to listening to hear? What's the struggle? What's preventing us? And why don't we have this muscle where the culture is crying out for listeners? And the fifth area has to do with the 6 seasons in my blues bar parish. The first season was, am I a clown? The bar asked, am I a clown? My denomination asked, am I a clown? My wife asked, am I a clown? I asked, am I a clown? Have you completely lost it? That was my about first 18 months and what that was like. And there were 5 other seasons after that. If you want more information on our interactive video workshops, it'll be on evangelizetoday.info. We'll limit them to 20 people or less so that we can answer questions. Check out the details, evangelizetoday.info. And I look forward to meeting you, by the way. Take care.